إن كنت تعتقد أن رواندا لا تتعدى أن تكون الإبادة الجماعية وأنها دولة صغيرة وحبيسة ولذا لا حاجة للتجارة والاستثمار في رواندا، فقد حان الوقت أن تعيد حساباتك. نعم، عانت رواندا من كارثة إنسانية في عام 1994 وعدد سكانها اليوم حوالي 12 مليون نسمة وليس لها منافذ على البحار والمحيطات، ولكن نجح الروانديون في تحويل بلدهم من دولة حبيسة لاندلوكت إلى دولة منفذ لاندلينكت. من بحيرة كيفو التي تقع على الحدود بين رواندا وجمهورية الكونغو الديمقراطية، وأنا الآن بمدينة روبافو في رواندا وخلفي مدينة جوما في جمهورية الكونغو الديمقراطية. أهلا ومرحبا بكم في برنامج عن أفريكا. تتقاسم 11 دولة حوض النيل. ورواندا دولة من دول منبع نهر النيل. تقع رواندا في شرق إفريقيا وتبلغ مساحتها حوالي 26,300 كيلومتر مربع، ويصل عدد سكانها إلى حوالي 12 مليون نسمة. تشتهر رواندا بشلالات رسومو التي تقع في جنوب شرق البلاد وعلى الحدود بين رواندا وتنزانيا، وتعد شلالات رسومو مصدراً من مصادر مياه النيل. وتطل مدينة روبافو التي تقع في شمال غرب رواندا ومدينة جوما في شرق جمهورية الكونغو الديمقراطية على بحيرة كيفو. وروبافو مدينة صغيرة واسمها القديم جيساني، ويعيش سكان روبافو بين مرتفعات رواندا التي تعرف بأرض الألف تل. وتتميز رواندا بمناخ معتدل بسبب ارتفاعها عن مستوى سطح البحر، وذلك رغم وقوعها جنوب خط الاستواء بحوالي 120 كيلومتر فقط. شهدت مدينة روبافو أو جيساني سابقاً إبادة جماعية بدأت في رواندا في إبريل 1994 واستمرت لمدة 100 يوم، وأدت إلى مقتل أكثر من 1,000,000 شخص في البلاد وهروب عشرات الآلاف من اللاجئين من رواندا إلى جوما في جمهورية الكونغو الديمقراطية، وغير ذلك من آثار مريرة ومدمرة. وقد تغير الوضع تماماً منذ عام 1994، ويمكنك اليوم أن تستمتع بجمال الطبيعة في ظل مناخ الأمن والاستقرار والسلام الذي تشهده مدينة روبافو، وهي منتجع سياحي شهير في رواندا. ويمكنك أن تستقل قارباً من مدينة روبافو لتبحر في بحيرة كيفو، إحدى البحيرات العظمى الإفريقية وأكبر بحيرة للمياه العذبة في رواندا. ولبحيرة كيفو أهمية اقتصادية كبرى، وهي بحيرة فريدة من نوعها، حيث إنها تحتوي على مخزون هائل من غاز الميثان الطبيعي، وهو مصدر لتوليد الكهرباء الرخيصة. وتعد بحيرة كيفو أحد مجالات الاستثمار الواعدة في رواندا. ومن بحيرة كيفو توجهنا إلى العاصمة كيغالي التي تقع حوالي 100 كيلومتر جنوب شرق مدينة روبافو لمقابلة وزير التجارة والصناعة الرواندي فينسنت مونيشياكا، والذي تتضمن حقيبته ملف الاستثمار أيضاً. ورغم قصة نجاح رواندا المبهرة وقوة العلاقات السياسية بين مصر ورواندا وعضوية البلدين في السوق المشتركة للشرق وجنوب إفريقيا كوميسا، إلا أن العلاقات الثنائية تحتاج إلى تنشيط التبادل التجاري وتعزيز الصادرات والواردات وفتح أسواق جديدة إلى جانب دعم الصناعة والاستثمار. Honorable Vincent Moniashaka, Minister of Trade and Industry of Rwanda, thank you so much for joining On Africa.
Thank you, thank you.
After staying here for some time in Rwanda, you need Egyptian pickles here, sir. You need to import some Egyptian pickles. Really? You have a lot of sweet pickles around. You need some Egyptian pickles. We call them مخلل.
Okay, that's good.
This is an excellent one. Can you say مخلل?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Makhalel.
So, yes.
Makhalel.
Yeah, you need some. You really need
Okay.
some. It's excellent.
That's good.
You need
That's
full and
good.
ta'amiyya, also our traditional dish. Then if you have restaurants here for Egyptian restaurants,
But
I think we'll do very well here.
You are very specialized in perfumes.
Perfumes. Oh, okay.
Yes.
From Khan al-Khalili.
Yes, yes.
Have you ever been to Egypt?
Yes, yes. I twice.
As a tourist or for business?
No, for business. Actually, I was transiting through Cairo, but I have managed to spend some time in Cairo. So I have been able to visit Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, Algeria, and Morocco.
Okay.
Yes, I have been around, yeah.
Your Excellency, when I asked the ambassador of Rwanda to Egypt, do I need a visa to come to Rwanda? He said, no, you're an African lady.
Yes.
And I can see that this is a good boost for Egyptian businessmen to come here. So what are the incentives and guarantees that Rwanda is offering foreign investors, including Egyptian businessmen?
As a country, as Rwanda, we are much worried with our development, but also we would like to see a unified, developed Africa. So that is actually a decision from our highest leader to make sure that Africans, we can move freely, we can, and actually movement of people are related to movement of goods, related to movement of investment, because if people can move easily, you can easily improve trading relationship, investment relationship. Actually, our country, we want the development of Africa, but also development of Rwanda. So Egypt being part of Africa, so your sisters, brothers. So, and on that note, actually we'd like to see intra-Africa trade relationship. For instance, why do I have, for instance, if I would like to connect to Cairo, why do I have to go through another continent?
Through Nairobi or
to come
Addis
back?
Ababa?
No.
That's
okay. That's okay if I'm going through
Mr.
Nairobi,
Minister, you spend a lot of time traveling this way.
Yes,
I mean,
this
it
is
would
a lot
be
of
better
time.
to have direct
But
flights.
we have situation where
You go to Europe first.
You have to go through another continent to come back to Africa, and yet you are coming from Africa. So
Yes.
I think we need to think twice to see how we can how we can free movement of people, movement of goods. So there is no way you can develop, have strong trade relationship without actually having the right infrastructure to facilitate movement of people, movement of goods. That's why the decision of removing visa for Africans, that was a good one. But above our friendship, above our neighboring relationship, actually it will yield into businesses.
What are the incentives and guarantees that Rwanda is offering foreign businessmen, including Egyptians?
About the incentives we have a very comprehensive investment code where actually we have a set of legal incentive given to any potential investor to this country, and we have to go by law, and we have to go by our investment code.
Mr. Minister, how do you see Rwanda today compared to where it was after the 1994 genocide?
Our country has made some tremendous development in terms of human development, in terms of rebuilding the country, And right now, I'm quite happy with where Rwanda is now. Maybe if I can be more specific, as a country, we have managed to have a very consistent economic growth, where, for instance, for the last 15 years, we have seen an economic growth of around 80% on an annual basis. At the same time, we have managed actually to reduce poverty in our country, where, for instance, right now, poverty levels have reduced. Right now, we have like 49% of our population under poverty line. But also, at the same time, we have seen actually disparities among our population reducing, simply because we have managed to put in place social protection programs where, for instance, we have seen inequalities among Rwandans reducing, simply because we have managed to tackle that element of social life, social affairs, where the country has managed to put in place social protection programs. For me, in a simple word, Rwanda now is a country on the development way, and it is going forward. We can reach the middle income status country very soon. So this is a country on move. In summary, I can tell this is a country on move on all sides, being actually rebuilding our human capital, rebuilding our security, but also embarking on development agenda, but also making sure that actually the bottom line, how our population can benefit from this development agenda, we are embarking on it. So this is a country on move.
The volume of trade between Rwanda and Egypt is about 26.7 million US dollars.
Yes.
And this is low. How do you rate trade relations between Rwanda and Egypt today?
If you try even to disaggregate that figure, you shall see that more than 99% of it is imports from Egypt to Rwanda. So, meaning that that is like a one-way trade relation. And in terms of export from Rwanda to Egypt, it is only 0.2 million US dollar. And for us, this is giving us an indication on opportunities to increase trade relationship between the two countries, where, for instance, in our country, we have managed to have a clear strategy for export promotion, and actually Egypt can be one of our export destination. So we do have actually some trade relationship with Egypt, but actually my point here, there are big opportunities for both countries. If you try to see and analyze our trade relationship with Egypt, actually every year we have managed to have two kind of Egypt trade fair where actually Egyptian businessmen come twice a year to exhibit their produces here in the country. This is an opportunity.
And this is different from the Rwanda International Trade Fair.
So the Rwanda International Trade Fair is organized by our ministry in charge of trade and industry.
And this is organized every year?
Every year, once a year. It is organized by this ministry together with our private sector federation, and it is actually attended by all countries, more or less, countries from Africa, America, Asia. So this is the one organized by our country. But there is another trade fair by Egyptians
coming from Egypt.
Coming from Egypt and actually exhibiting the products here in the country, and it is done twice a year. This has been actually a very strong strategy for Egypt to increase imports in our country, and actually our population is even benefiting from that trade fairs because many construction materials are bought available on our market. And actually, so on the other side, what I would like to say, on investment, we don't see a lot of investment from Egypt to Rwanda. And
you don't have many Egyptian investors
we don't have many. We have ones in our mining sector. But actually, when I try to understand our relationship, I have seen that actually Rwanda were focusing on attracting foreign direct investment here in the country. At the same time, Egypt is having the same strategy, and both strategies aim at export promotion. I think there are big opportunities for the two countries in terms of actually increasing our trade relation. If we can, for instance, if we can...
what are the obstacles, sir?
For me, I don't see obstacles. I see opportunities.
Excellent.
If we can properly analyze and understand our two economies, to see whether, for instance, Rwanda, we have a comparative advantage to produce and then export. At the same time, on the side of Egypt, to see where they have comparative advantage for producing in Egypt and then export in Rwanda. And I think if we can have such kind of dialogue, conversation, we can found mutual benefits and actually see how we can increase our trade relationship. Me, I'm seeing that as opportunity. For instance, we're not exporting tea in Egypt, and I know Egyptians are big consumers of tea,
yes.
And we have a good quality tea in our country.
For instance, in case of Uganda, the tea goes from Uganda to Kenya, to the multinationals, and then to Egypt through Mombasa. Do we get Rwandan tea, but the package is the multinational name? Like, do we get really Rwandan tea in Egypt, or do you also sell your tea in Kenya? The multinationals would take your tea and then do the packaging and then export to Egypt?
Actually, we're having a similar process where actually
so it's not
our
tea
tea and even coffee is auctioned on international markets,
yes,
be it through Kenya, Mombasa, and actually we even have some shops in Europe, like England. But what I was trying to say is there is an opportunity to increase our trade relation, for instance, on tea. That bilateral trade relationship on tea between Egypt and Rwanda. There is an opportunity because we're not...
Directly, instead of going to the multinationals.
We can use both. If we can sit together, the two delegations sitting together and then analyzing opportunities we have at hand, it is possible to go through international, but also going bilateral. Yeah.
Yes. But don't you think that bilateral would be better for both countries, since both countries are members of COMESA, and at the same time it would be cheaper for Egyptian businessmen?
Definitely it is. Definitely it is. This is actually an avenue we need to look into.
Mr. Minister, do you have enough MOUs, memorandums of understanding between Egypt and Rwanda in terms of trade, for instance, that can help?
Yeah, I think the one we have is...
Signed MOUs.
Yes, we have the one that we have signed in 2009. So that's why I was advocating for the two countries to see how we can have like a joint committee to look into figures and then to see opportunities on both sides, such that we can try to tap into these opportunities. So the last MOU we have signed with Egypt was in 2009.
And you haven't done any follow-up since then?
Yeah, we have done some follow-up, and as a result of that follow-up, as a result, we have had some trade relation, but only basing on retailing some product from Egypt to our market. But I think we need to take that relationship at another level where we can attract more, even more investment from Egypt rather than basing on individual businessmen. So to have a very strong relationship, trade relationship, investment relationship between the two countries. We are targeting big investors from Egypt to come, private investors to come from Egypt and then to invest in our country, because I think we are aware of our doing business report. The country is doing very well in terms of actually undertaking reforms to ease doing of business in our country. As you may know, actually our country, by the World Bank, doing business report, that was doing business report 2018, our country is ranking number 2 in Africa, number 1 in the East African community, and 41 worldwide. So we have been able to undertake a number of reforms to ease doing business here, and our foreign direct investment is increasing year by year. So we'd like Egypt to be part of the game, to be part of the game, and then to see how we can have a kind of win-win strategy for both countries.
What would you tell us about cooperation between Rwanda and Egypt in the industrial sector?
Egypt is a strong partner with Rwanda, but what I can say is there is a room to maximize. There is a room to maximize on investment, simply because, as I told you, if we try to see our relationship with Egypt, 99% is about import from Egypt to Rwanda. So export from Rwanda to Egypt, not so much, less than 1% of our trade relationship. And in terms of investment, we don't have many investment from Egypt. So there is a room to improve our business investment relationship with Egypt.
This is excellent.
But apart from that one, we consider Egypt as a strong partner of our country.
Political relations between Rwanda and Egypt are strong.
Very strong.
This is very much needed for trade and investment. It's the atmosphere, it's the milieu that you need for boosting trade and investment. So I hope that you start soon then.
Yes, actually there are some fundamentals for developing trade relations. First of all, the political relationship with our two countries, but also for both countries to be able to maintain strong microeconomic stability, and even being able to create a conducive environment for business. These are fundamentals. This is the foundation of any kind of investment, because investment is about building trust between the leadership of the country and the investment community, be it local investment community or even foreign investment community. So there is that kind of, we need to have a strong foundation to attract investment.
Yeah. Lack of information is one big hurdle and one main reason for the low volume of trade, not just between Egypt and Rwanda, I think between African countries in general, also transportation hurdles. And there is this argument, why would I trade with Rwanda when it's landlocked and when its population is about 12 million people? How would you respond to this?
You need to look at Rwanda. Actually, first of all, you need to consider its geographical location. That's one. As a market, there is no way you can target Rwanda, only Rwanda as a market. You need to do your market analysis in the whole region. And given the specific location of this country, actually Rwanda, instead of being landlocked, it can be a hub. That's why we have a clear strategy to make this country a financial, ICT, logistical hub, such that by transiting through Rwanda, you can trade with everybody. That's why actually we have managed to develop our airline, Rwanda Air, that is now connecting Africa.
I hope that it connects Kigali and Cairo at one point.
Yes. I think this should be in the plan. So it is not in my docket, but I think we have a clear strategy to connect many cities, many countries as we can in Africa. But also, as you know, we have even direct connection with Europe. So this is actually trying to make this country land-linked, linked to other countries by developing, putting in place the right logistical platform. For instance, within our neighboring countries, we come up with what we call, for instance, cross-border markets to ease movement of goods, capital, people with our neighboring countries, be it DRC, be it Tanzania, be it Uganda. We are developing now what we call cross-border markets. But on international relation, we are developing what we call Kigali Logistic Platform here in the city of Kigali. But also we have a clear plan to develop some logistics, for instance, in Djibouti, Tanzania, such that we can connect Rwanda to the rest of the world. So we are trying actually to take advantage of our geographical location to connect Rwanda to the rest of the world and to make sure that this Rwanda comes actually a hub for the world, a hub for Africa. It is happening. For instance, we are connecting West Africa, we are connecting with Europe, we are connecting within ESC, within COMESA. So we have a strong strategy to link this country rather than to lock it.
What are the commodities that Rwanda would need from Egypt?
Actually, one of the commodities we need from by now, we are developing our construction sector. Even it is driving our economic growth as a country. We have a clear policy to develop low-cost local construction materials. But if we can get low-cost materials from Egypt to sustain the development within our construction subsector, it will be good enough. This is one sector. But also I'm looking at mining. Mining, we have managed to have some trades around minings, but modernizing the mining subsector. If we can attract some professional investors from Egypt, for instance, to help us to modernize our mining sector.
So you're very much interested in capacity building?
In capacity building, technology, but the final result will be increasing our export from mining sector. So these are the two sectors I'm seeing: construction materials and then mining, but also some fresh vegetables, fresh products, vegetables. But in that area, on our side, it will be exporting rather than getting them from. We can easily export
You can easily export avocados.
Avocados, other.
I can't believe how big avocados are in Rwanda. Here in Rwanda,
we have.
It's very special.
We have.
It's very unique. It is so big.
Yes.
And it is so delicious.
So, I can mention tea. I can mention vegetables. Yeah, but if we'd like to be very specific, it is better to have a joint commission to discuss all these elements.
So you think that what's really missing at this point is a mechanism, like a joint commission?
Yes.
To boost trade?
Yes.
Bilateral trade. This brings me to a very important point. Cows.
Cows, yeah. We are touching to our culture.
Yes. In what way are cows a source of pride for Rwandans? And I know that President Paul Kagame has passion for cows.
Yes, that's right. Actually, it's our culture as Rwandans. Actually, cows in our country symbolize wealth. In the past, actually, we used to use cow as money. For instance, if you want to trade with someone, you can use cow as money. So cow is symbolizing wealth, is symbolizing that relationship with the population and the cow, where you can easily feed your children by using milk from the cow. So it's our culture.
And what's the difference between an Ankole cow and an Inyambo? Because, I mean, in Uganda, when
I think they're quite similar.
Right?
They're quite similar.
Because when I came here and said Ankole, they said no, Inyambo.
No. Here in Rwanda, we call them Inyambo. On the other side, they're called Ankole. But Inyambo were not raised by any kind of the citizen. It was actually for the kings to have Inyambo, and these are very ceremonial cows used actually in official ceremonies at the king place, where actually Inyambo, it is not raised by a common citizen. It is for the king, and mainly it is for the king.
Are cows here used as dowry?
Yes.
To get married?
Yeah, in our culture we use, even now, we use cows. By a single cow, you can get a beautiful woman, and you just offer a cow.
Could this be one reason that Rwanda is not exporting cows, in spite of the fact that you have about 1.4 million cows in Rwanda? Could this mentality, this culture be one reason why you're not exporting cows?
No. Actually, we're trying to develop that sector, and we have managed to have some beef processing project. And actually, I have to mention that we have a huge market in the region where we can easily export meat.
Are you actually exporting?
Yeah, we're exporting at a small scale. What we need to do is actually the private sector to take a lead, because we have huge opportunities in Western Africa. We have huge opportunities in DRC. So this is a subsector where we can increase our export.
You have also a huge opportunity in Egypt. We love meat.
Okay, that's
we love
good.
meat,
Yeah.
And you have 100 million people, and at the same time, the meat here is much, much cheaper. It's cheaper than in Egypt. I mean, 1 kilo of meat in Rwanda is about
more or less
$2 US.
Okay.
In Egypt, it's about at least $9 US.
This is a huge opportunity.
This is a huge opportunity. I don't know why you're not
I think
working on
we
it.
can look into that subsector to see how we can increase our exports to Egypt. So this is one area we can try to tap into. I have been mentioning tea, but also we can add meat for exporting to
And you
Egypt.
have the industry for it here?
We are trying to develop it. We have some industry by private sector, but we need to scaling it up to give it a big size and then to make it very professional and such that we can easily export to Africa, including Egypt.
Great.
Yeah.
This sounds great.
Thank you.
Mr. Minister, I was told that cows, they walk all the way from Uganda through the cattle corridor to reach Sudan. And then from Sudan, they are sold to Egypt.
Okay.
But the problem when we get cows from Uganda after walking for so long is that we get cows with muscles.
Ah,
So the
okay.
meat is not tender
So
anymore.
you want the meat to travel from Rwanda to Egypt rather than the cow.
Directly. I mean,
Yeah, so this is an opportunity to develop our meat industry, really. Because by even cow traveling from Uganda to South Sudan, then Egypt,
We get them from Sudan, actually.
from Sudan.
Yes.
So actually we need to modernize our meat industry.
You're actually working with Egypt and other countries on this project of connecting Lake Victoria with the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I know that this is not your field, but after seeing your Inyambo cows, I think that it's high time to have a festival, an Inyambo festival. I think it's high time that you provide Egypt with some Inyambo cows, because we haven't seen Inyambo before. I mean, it's beautiful. With the long horns, with the big horns, it's beautiful. So we don't have such cows in Egypt. I mean, if you can give the zoo some of these cows.
The zoo?
The zoo in Egypt, yes. It needs Inyambo cows, definitely. And if you see our tombs in Egypt, you will see a goddess, a main goddess in ancient Egypt. Her name is Hathor. And she used to wear a headdress with long horns.
Okay.
And when I saw your
So
Inyambo,
quite similar with Inyambo?
yes, with very big horns.
Okay.
She is the goddess of love and beauty and motherhood, and her symbol is a cow.
Okay, that's good.
And this can be great for cultural exchange or maybe a festival on Inyambo. I know that this is not part of your portfolio,
Yes,
but I
yes.
mean it will actually boost cultural exchange between both countries.
Again, that is an area where on cultural basis we can see whether we can have some relationship, because in our country, actually we do have Inyambo festival in one of our districts, that is the district of Nyanza.
Nyanza, yes.
That is in the
I
center.
was going to say Nyanza,
in
yes.
the center of our country. So putting Inyambo in zoo, this is very special. This is very new to me. But if you can link with the ministry in charge of culture to see where there are opportunities to exchange Inyambo, so I would only advise the Egyptian counterpart to engage our ministry in charge of culture to see where we can have that kind of relationship based on Inyambo and our culture.
What message would you convey to Egyptian businessmen interested in investment and trade in Rwanda, the land of 1,000 hills?
I have a very unique and very simple message. Is actually Rwanda has proven to be an investment destination. We have been able actually to undertake the required reforms to make sure that we can ease doing business in Rwanda. And actually this is trying to see how we can lower the costs of investing here in Rwanda by providing some incentives, but also by providing the right infrastructure and even reforming our legal framework to make it so Rwanda is an investment opportunity. Please, my message from Egyptian businessmen, please come to our country, come to Rwanda, do your assessment, and then we are ready to facilitate you in terms of investing in Rwanda.
I hope at one point, sir, you have investment in the media sector.
Yes, yes. So actually, after the 1994 genocide, you have seen a lot of investment coming in that media subsector, and more of the investments are coming from Africa, other from Asia, like China, so. This is actually another open sector where it is very easy to make investment. And right now we happy that we have been managed to develop our media sector. We have managed to attract some investment, but there are still opportunities in that sector. So if Egyptians are interested in that sector, we can
Egyptians have a lot of expertise in the media sector.
Okay, that's good. So, and we are developing even developing our media sector. It's an opportunity to professionalize this sector by bringing in some foreign investment in the sector.
What about music and dance? You have excellent Rwandan music.
Do you know how to dance?
Not yet. I haven't danced with the Intore dancers.
Yes.
But you have excellent Rwandan music.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
Honorable Vincent Munyeshyaka, Minister of Trade and Industry of Rwanda, thank you so much for joining on Africa. It has been interesting talking to you, sir.
Welcome, welcome. It has been a pleasure to me to interact with you.
Thank you for hosting us.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hit the way!